This is a story that connects sustainable fishing in dangerous seas, phone connectivity in disaster zones, and dogs using iPads to help owners with sight issues. It is a story that brings together a mass volunteering program and coding hackathons, and a story that is tied together by the collaborative desire to use technology to make the world a better place to live in. You may be surprised then that at the heart of this story is one of the world's biggest banks. But JPMorgan Chase isn't your everyday banking institution. In fact, JPMorgan Chase prides itself on being more than just a bank. It's no use just talking the talk though. An organisation has to walk the walk if it truly wishes to make a positive difference to the communities it serves. And this is where JPMorgan Chase's Tech for Social Good programme comes in. "10 years ago, Ali Morano made a decision that would change her life. She was working for an organisation that provided technology assistance to non-profits in the social goods sector. The recession made the work tough. Getting large corporations to provide funding to help her organisation deliver needed tech assistance became increasingly difficult. So Morano changed tack. Rather than asking for financial support, she started pairing skilled volunteers from her corporate funders with non-profits in need of technology assistance.
We helped the nonprofits frame what their challenges were. We helped the skilled volunteers shape what they really were able to offer.
One of the biggest clients was JPMorgan Chase, and Morano had an epiphany.
What if I did this from the other side? One day sent a message off to one of the senior leaders in technology and said, we could do this at JPMorgan.
To Morano's surprise, the exec responded by saying, "Okay, let's meet to discuss." And the rest, as they say, is history.
10 years ago, we really started changing the way we talk about how can you engage your employees in social good in meaningful ways that's really not just window dressing, but that's really making impact across organizations and their ability to serve their constituents.
Efforts at JPMorgan Chase to engage their tech workforce in the social sector began slowly. But 2021 is the 10th anniversary of Tech for Social Good, which Morano is head of, and it has grown beyond anything anyone ever thought it would. It now helps hundreds of organisations every year, providing them with tech expertise and the opportunity to scale. Tech for Social Good's stated mission is to lift up communities around the world through the power of people and technology. This is how it works. Through skilled volunteerism, it uses JPMorgan Chase staff to work with students and non-profits to meet their needs around technology. It does this through several programs, including Code for Good, a hackathon which brings employees and external candidates together to ideate on how tech can solve a problem a non-profit is facing. Force for Good, which connects employees with non-profits to build sustainable tech solutions, and youth programs, which addresses the tech skills gap through education and mentorship for people under 18. The reason for Tech for Social Good is two-pronged. Some of those bright candidates that JPMorgan Chase meets through Code for Good will end up being employed by the company, which means it can attract ready-made talent already familiar with them, while it also helps hundreds of social good non-profits make the world a better place to live in. It's a win-win.
Tech for Social Good is really a program that was developed to bridge the gap between the access to technology resources that could be funding or skills or products in the corporate sector and the lack thereof of that same access to technology in the nonprofit sector. The world has really moved to this digital transformation, and nonprofits are trying to go on that journey as well. And I think as corporations, we have a responsibility to help nonprofits move along that journey and get access to technology that will help them scale their mission. And that's really what Tech for Social Good was started as, and that idea of harnessing the power of technology and our employees and their passion for wanting to make an impact by using their skills to ultimately better uplift the communities where we work and operate.
Tech for Social Good formalises its goals as innovate for the social sector, build the workforce of the future, and develop skills through social good. Innovation is at the centre of it all, says Morano.
Everything doesn't have to be done as it always was done. And it's funny to say that from a company that's over 200 years old and has a deep, deep tradition. But the ability to innovate and think about how can we find talent in new ways as well is amazing. Innovation can be defined in so many different ways, and it's not just about what a corporation might think about at an enterprise level, but innovation truly means your ability to serve your constituents in a greater and more impactful way is enabled because of the work that we do with them. We start conversations not by saying, what's wrong with your technology and how do I fix it? We start conversations by saying, help me understand your mission and what you're trying to do to serve your clients, and I will talk to you about how innovative uses of technology can further that mission.
Let's return to Tech for Social Good's programs, the heartbeat of its operation. It starts young, with youth programs attracting school-aged children to think about technology. It gives JPMorgan Chase the opportunity to encourage and influence the next generation of technologists, and to help inspire school children about how technology can make a difference to the world. One of the youth events it runs is Generation Tech, where school-aged students are invited into JPMorgan Chase offices to take on the design challenges for social good organisations. They work in teams, with their goals aligned with United Nations sustainability goals. Code for Good is for any external candidates looking for employment at JPMorgan Chase, and provides the company with a really meaningful way of recruiting talent. Again, they work in teams on challenges posed by charities, building out solutions to the problems. The events tend to involve 4 or 5 challenges being taken on by around 150 students, although that expands to over 600 when done remotely due to COVID-19 restrictions. The students produce proof of concept ideas and demonstrate how challenges can be overcome through the application of technology, and these ideas are carried through for the organisations. This is where Force for Good comes in. Force for Good is for JPMorgan Chase employees. They work together in teams, usually over a multi-month period, to build out the solutions for the organisations. JPMorgan Chase steps back only when it is confident that the ideas can be adopted and utilised fully by the organisations, ensuring the process is sustainable for them.
In youth, we start with trying to inspire talent, to identify underrepresentation, to work with that talent, to encourage them to want to be technologists. At Code for Good, it's a great opportunity to showcase us as an employer of choice, hoping that they would come and join us. Not every student that comes does join us, but a number of them come back and do internships with us in the summers, etc. And a number of those then subsequently join JPMorgan as a full-time employee. Once they join JPMorgan, then they get the opportunity to work on the Force for Good projects. That is a great opportunity to feel they can give back in a very meaningful way to help the social sector. They, in many cases, get to choose the non-profits they work with, and so they can choose the mission that best aligns to their own personal choices.
The organisations JPMorgan Chase works with are many and varied. Morano admits that when Tech for Social Good first started, it was a tough proposition to sell to non-profits. A well-known bank coming in and helping them improve the technical side of their operation seemed surprising.
We had organizations coming to us and we said, we can actually help you with needs that you have related to technology. They were hesitant as well, saying, well, if it's related to banking or finance and something with investment, I'm all in. But you're going to help me with my technology? It's not how people saw JPMorgan.
Over time, Tech for Social Good has helped add to JPMorgan Chase's reputation as a strong technology organisation that is also a bank. Now it can ensure that organisations selected to receive its services will be those it feels will most benefit and be able to translate that impact to better serve its communities and constituents.
When I think about some of the projects that I'm most excited about, there's so many to pull from, but I think about ones where, as an example, we worked for an organization where we were helping local fishermen who would go out and didn't have these high-end fleets or boats to be using, and had challenges that when they would go out in dangerous weather, they didn't have the choice to say, well, I'm not going out today because there's going to be a storm. They were really fishing for sustainability. So what we did with them is we actually helped them create a beacon technology. So while they were out fishing, they could actually use their phones, their digital phones, and send out a beacon if they were going to be lost at sea.
Morano is also fond of an iPad application that assistive dogs can use in medical situations. Yep, that's right, an iPad app that a dog can use. If the dog's owner has a medical emergency, such as falling, it is trained to use its paw prints to send a message that its handler needs immediate help.
One organization we worked with was an organization based in the UK that focuses on disaster relief. And when there's a natural disaster, they send volunteers and folks on the ground to help them distribute supplies and really help the area that's affected. They really need technology to do so. One of the big challenges in that scenario is there may not be cell phone connectivity. So we worked with that organization to set up tools that they can use from their phones to help prioritize need, to help understand, what inventory is available and distribute items on the ground to support people in those areas. was really timely about that was we were focused last year on working with that organization when COVID started to spread, and they were able to pivot their mission to focus not just on international disaster relief, but domestically in the UK to provide supplies for people in need who were struggling to get certain things, whether it be medicines or household items locally in the UK.
Malinowski heads up a tech team that takes both the skilled volunteers and non-profits through the entire collaborative process. It trains and advises its staff and the non-profit staff and reviews all tech decisions to ensure the technology is being built is both impactful and sustainable for the organisations. The team monitors all data on each project to ensure they're on track, provides infrastructure and tools for volunteers to build the technology, and manages risk and security for the non-profits, as well as JPMorgan Chase's staff. It's this level of detail and care from start to finish that has meant Tech for Social Good has been able to grow each year, and why social good organisations continue to turn for it for help. There is one big question though that needs answering. How on earth does a team at Tech for Social Good convince so many of JPMorgan Chase's staff to volunteer?
I don't actually think about what we do as a volunteer program. I think about it as social good initiatives, and it allows us to really show that we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. So when we say that we care about the communities where we live and work, we show it. We don't just show it by giving dollars, which might be expected. We show it by engaging. We show it by giving of your skills, of our time, and we do it in thoughtful ways.
Not everyone is expected to volunteer. Far from it. Tech for Social Good wants people to volunteer, not be voluntold. Those who do put their hands up, and there are thousands of them, do all of their volunteering within their work hours. Nothing is expected during out-of-office hours.
Our role is about empowering our staff to be able to give back, giving them the opportunity to do more than just pick up a paycheck every month. For many of our staff, it's vitally important to them that they can give back to all different sorts of organisations, be it working with charities or be working with school children.
With 2021 being the 10th birthday of Tech for Social Good, it begs the obvious question: what will the 20th anniversary look like? Murano is keen to stress that nothing too bold needs to happen. What they're doing is working. But data is becoming increasingly important. After a decade of Tech for Social Good, the team has a wealth of data that it plans to put back out to the communities in order to ensure social good organisations aren't starting from scratch each time. If a homeless charity, for example, comes to JPMorgan Chase looking for help solving a specific problem, Tech for Social Good can immediately share examples of other homeless charities it has worked with on similar issues. The goal is to create a self-help environment in which non-profits and social good organisations can help and learn from each other to reduce the reliance on JPMorgan Chase. There has also been an increasing realisation that the skills gap doesn't exist only in coding. So Tech for Social Good has expanded its focus to take in data science and cyber safety, allowing its staff to give back in broader ways.
I think where technology for social good is going is really finding opportunities to support project models beyond just building technology solutions and delivering them for nonprofits. So in our 50,000 employee tech workforce, we have skill sets beyond just software engineers. We have project managers, we have people who handle change management, we have data scientists, and a huge number of skill sets throughout the company. And, when we talk to a lot of organizations, they have needs beyond just delivering a piece of technology.
We're recognizing that tech doesn't happen in a vacuum. And we need so many other skill sets and disciplines to truly make the impact that I would expect over the coming years for us to evolve and expand our remit beyond technology. We don't look at Tech for Social Good as a competitive advantage. We look at it as it's a right and we need to do it. It's expected of us because we want to give back. And the more other organizations do similarly, the faster we'll address some of the issues that are happening in the world today.